bond comes from the Latin word fidere, which means to believe, to have faith, or to trust. In ancient times and even now, the verb afianzar in Spanish refers to the action of ensuring, guaranteeing that two or more objects are firm and secure. When we speak of bond, we refer to the action of making firm, supporting, and sustaining something. A surety bond is a contract by virtue of which a person, called surety, undertakes with the creditor to pay for a debtor in case the latter fails to do so. It's an onerous contract entered by the surety company and the surety or guarantee the performance of obligations contracted by the latter before the beneficiary or the creditor obligations that are set forth in a document called policy, and in which the surety company agrees to pay the amount for money agreed upon the policy in the event of default by the surety of the guarantee obligation. But what is a surety? Well, in simple words, when a person requests a surety bond from another person, what he or she wants is to make sure that what is being signed in the contract is fulfilled. The bond serves precisely to guarantee to the obligee that the principal will fulfill the obligation acquired. Surety companies in Mexico operate as well as the insurance company under the authorization from a legal government through the Ministry of Finance and Credit Public and the Insurance and Surety Institution Law. This authorization enables them to cover insurable risks for individuals, business, and governmental entities, including municipalities and state through the federal treasury. Elements in a surety bond are the principal, which is the party that purchases the bond and undertakes the obligation to perform an act as promised. The surety, which is the insurance company or the surety company that guarantees the obligation that will be performed. If the principal fails to perform the act as promised, the surety is contractually liable for losses and sustained. The obligee, which the party who requires and often receives the benefit of the surety bond. For most surety bonds, the obligee is a local and state or federal government organization, surety, which in Mexico, they are only those who are authorized by the Ministry of Economy. But how does a surety works? Well, the surety bonds function as a financial guarantee where the surety company, authorized by law, assures a beneficiary, typically the creditor, that the principal, the party seeking the bond, will fulfill their contractual obligations. And here's how it works. The principal applies for a surety bond from a surety company. The surety company assesses the risk and decides whether to issue the bond based on principal's qualifications. Once approved, the surety company issues the bond, which details the obligations the surety company assumes if the principal fails to fulfill their contractual duties. Then, the principal agrees to fulfill the terms of the original contract with the beneficiary. The bond provides a guarantee to the beneficiary that they will receive compensation if the principal fails to meet their obligation. If the principal defaults on their obligation, the beneficiary can file a claim with the surety company, and the surety company investigates the claim, and if it's valid, compensates, gives the money to the beneficiary up to the bond's limited as specified in the bond. The surety company is obligated to indemnity the beneficiary for losses resulting from the principal's default. After paying out the surety company may seek reimbursement from the principal, including any additional cost which might have incurred. What are the requirements in a surety bond policy? Well, the policy must include the name and the address of the surety and the beneficiary, a legal or contractual obligation of the surety that are the subject matter guarantee, the guarantee by the bond, if applicable, the agreed amount of the indemnity, the way in which the beneficiary shall evidence to the institution the non-compliance with the guarantee obligation, the time and commencement of the bond, and if it's applicable, its term. Any other clauses that must govern the policy in accordance with the applicable law, regulation, and administrative provisions guided by the surety institution. Also, the signature of the institution or representative, which means that is authorized. There are many examples in which we can use a surety bond. We have administrative bonds. These guarantee a valid and legal economic obligation, not under any fidelity, fiscal, judicial, or credit bonds. They include bonds for construction and procurement, customs, leasing, permits, concessions, and ticket handling. Fidelity bonds. These bonds ensure an employer against losses due to crimes committed by employers against their assets or for which they are legally responsible. We have also crimes, this type of bonds for crimes, which include theft, fraud, or breach of trust. Then we have tax bonds, which are issued to fiscal authorities to guarantee payments of tax credits owned by the bonded party. Then we have judicial bonds, which guarantee the compliance with obligations from a judicial procedure before a competent authority, which secures the compensation for damages caused to affected parties. Here we can include criminal bonds and non-criminal bonds, which maybe are those who you have more reference. When a person goes to jail, they have to get a bond in order to get out and continue the process outside. If not, the bond is gonna be paid. Then we have credit bonds, which are legal instruments which guarantee the payment of any obligation arising from the contract of goods or contract with service, which have a credit commitment. Last but not importance, we must differentiate an insurance and a surety bond. An insurance is a principal contract, while a surety bond is an accessory contract. It depends on another contract. The insurer's service consists in assuming the risk. In return, a surety bond guarantees the payment or performance of an obligation to do or not to do. The collection of premiums in a surety bond is established as a percentage of the bonded amount, and in an insurance, the possibility of losses and accumulated experience are considered. The surety bond is tripartite contract since there are three personal elements: the principal, the obligee, and the surety company. While in an insurance, on the other hand, it's a bipartite contract where the only two personal elements appear: the insurer and the insurance. In an insurance contract, at the request of the insurer, the latter may cancel it at any time, while in an insurance bond can only be canceled when the principal obligation is fulfilled. In an insurance contract and in surety bonds, they also differ in terms of updating of the project object. Since when the eventuality foreseen in a contract occurs, the insurance loss incurs. In surety bonds, when the principal fails to comply with the guarantee obligation, the beneficiary must file a formal claim.